Welcome. This is Podcast. I'm your host, Zach Schwartz, and as you see here, we're doing a little bit of a different setup, trying different things, so you get to see some of my cool random shit in the background, and you also get to see Buddy Cordero, who's joining me today to talk about the Justice League Snyder Cut, with everything the 4-hour movie can provide for you, and more, and all the drama around it, obviously with the fandom, and stuff like that with Warner Brothers. Buddy, how you doing today?
Wonderful, Zach. How are you?
I'm good. It's nice to have someone actually here I can look at and talk to as the podcast is going on. So.
I don't know whether I'm supposed to look here or at you when you're speaking. I got to say it's quite the experience, but you know.
Yeah, I don't really know either. It's the first one I've done in person, so we're just gonna figure it out and let the 10-year-olds comment on YouTube here and do that. So yes, we do have a YouTube page, The Assist Podcast. Check that out. Obviously, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, whatever you listen to now, as you know. Was the Justice League Snyder Cut worth 4 hours of your time?
Absolutely not.
Absolutely not.
No.
You say no? Why not?
Just. I'd rather. It was just cheesy writing.
Mm-hmm.
Very cheesy writing for 4 hours of my time. This storyline was like just so confusing to me.
Yeah.
The entire time,
Mm-hmm.
all 4 hours, I sat there like, what is going on?
So, spoiler warning, obviously, ahead for the rest of the show. When Superman gets resurrected, I went to go make dinner because I was like, okay, the final scene's the final act's coming up. Like, I gotta go get dinner, type thing like that. I looked at it. They revived Superman 2 hours and 50 minutes into this thing.
Yeah, because when I looked up the movie, I was looking up the cast of it. It was like Superman's in it, and then I was like, and then I got 2 hours in. And I was like, where's Superman? Like, what is going on? They also have the Joker listed.
Yeah.
As one of the top cast members. He was in it for what? Maybe 5 minutes?
Yeah, I got to read a paragraph off to Batman at the end.
Yeah, a weird paragraph in a weird scene where I had no idea where they were.
Yeah.
Do you understand what that was supposed to be?
I think so, and maybe we'll talk about that.
I was half asleep during that scene.
Well, I mean, 3 hours, 50 minutes in, I don't blame you. Well, we'll talk about it a little bit later, because I think that ties more into with the fact that Zack Snyder, who had control mostly over this DCEU with Superman and Batman specifically, now exiting, and fans still want him to come back now because this has been more well-received than the original Justice League, which we can talk about as well. So, overall impression, not worth the time, type thing like that. Weird story. I agree with you. I mean, it just felt like there were so... Like, for instance, Avengers Endgame, which is actually a similar amount of runtime, right? I think Endgame's shorter. Say 3.5...
I wish it was longer. Could have been longer.
Right, exactly.
Should have been longer.
So it's 3.5 hours or so, I think.
Yeah.
And Endgame's go, right?
Wait, how long is Endgame? I thought it was...
I'll look it up.
I thought it was 2.5.
It was definitely over the 3-hour mark.
But you're right about the movie being... It didn't feel 3 hours long. Snyder Cut felt...
6 hours long.
Like it took me years to finish.
3 hours and 1 minute. So
but did it feel that long?
Oh, wait, no.
No.
Wait. Yeah, 60 times 3 is 180. Had to do math there. 3 hours, 1 minute for Endgame. No, I agree with you. The Snyder Cut, I mean, honestly, I don't know. I know you didn't watch it all in one part. I didn't either. I watched it all in one night. I watched it last night. But I could not imagine sitting down 4 hours, putting your phone away, like in a movie theater,
oh my God,
not peeing and doing it. Because there's so many parts where I'm like, this could have been left on the cutting room floor. Like the scene where Martha Kent, but it's really Martian Manhunter, going to visit, Lois Lane, and it's like, you need to get to work. We need you too. And it's like, what is the point of this scene? What was the point of that? Like, that's a cutting.
Just to introduce what's his name?
Martian Manhunter.
Martian Manhunter.
I mean, it creates a plot hole though later on, which I am big into Martian Manhunter. I don't know if you've ever seen Smallville.
Never.
So Smallville, he is a really great character. He's like a fringe DC character. Like I would have bet, not fringe, but he's part of the Justice League, but not an alpha Justice League character. I mean, I would have bet that like someone like Green Lantern would have showed up before he did, and that didn't happen, obviously.
Yeah.
So
I don't know. I mean, can we first acknowledge these superheroes' names?
Sure. Yeah. So who actually? Yeah, that might be a little bit of plot summary. Is a good idea. So the Justice League in this DCEU incarnation is Batman, Superman, and Flash, obviously, Cyborg, who literally gets his name because they just call him a cyborg. Like that's messed up.
It's something.
Wonder Woman, and then pre-King Aquaman, which I know you watched.
Pre-King.
Yeah, because this is set before he is king of Atlantis.
Is it?
In Aquaman, yeah. The original Justice League came out before Aquaman did. However many years ago. I know it's hard to keep track of time like that, but yeah.
Their timeline's way more confusing than Marvel's timeline.
Oh, 100%.
Like, they don't... I don't think... What in the movie showed us that it was pre-King? Trident? Like, he didn't have the cool trident?
Yeah, and I guess there's some throwaway lines that, like, King Orm, like, your half-brother is still here, whatever. And so, I don't... But like you said, it's not something that in the 4-hour movie is really... Talked about. Right, yeah.
Because, like, in Marvel, we have, like, all these things that interline and show you that it's, like, a strict timeline.
Well, that's the whole thing I think that DC has struggled with in general. And this kind of shows is there's no cohesive vision.
Yeah.
Because I also feel like, why did Flash and Cyborg not get their own movies? You know what I mean? Like, before this?
Well, Flash is a show, no, but that's, like, separate.
Yeah, it is separate. Mm-hmm.
I don't know. Have you seen the Flash show?
Well, some of the seasons. I think I watched the first 4 seasons.
So which Flash do we like better?
Well, I mean, I think... This Flash, it's Ezra Miller, right? Who plays? Yeah, Ezra Miller plays more of the goofy role better, where I think the Grant Gustin Flash in the Arrowverse is more serious.
Yeah.
Like, more broody. Almost like how the Green Arrow version, which Stephen Amell's version of Green Arrow, who I love, is basically Batman.
Yeah.
Just whatever, but like... So I guess that's what they had to repurpose the show for, so... and in this especially, you contrast it with the incarnations of characters like Superman we have, who Superman even, I'm kind of like... I think I want to ask you about the casting choices later, because I actually like some of the casting, but like Henry Cavill as Superman, I'm just like, this is tough. He's brute. I feel like Henry Cavill, hot take, could have been a better Batman than Superman.
I don't know, because I like the options for Batman. You can't just have two of them. I mean, they both are such dominant like characters in the timeline, so I feel like he suited Superman's role.
Oh yeah.
But it was just, I don't know. I
mean, like a vacuum. Like Ben Affleck's not here.
Yeah.
I like I actually like Batfleck. People hate Batfleck. I actually don't mind Batfleck. But I just think Cavill, like the way he like broods, like he's a really good brooder. Yeah. Like in this movie when he comes alive again, when he's revived, and he's like looking at all the friends, and he's like just angry.
Yeah.
Like I'm like, that's Batman.
Well, yeah. But he the whole part was he didn't know who he was, right? Yeah. I didn't understand that whole part either.
Yeah.
How he just woke up, didn't know where he was, and then one day he just woke up and he was like, oh, I do know you.
Yeah, it's amazing how for a 4-hour movie, they didn't flesh things out. Still.
They had so much time to do so.
Mm-hmm.
And instead we had like that pointless scene with Lois Lane and the Martian Manhunter.
A whole thing in, I didn't know how to say Wonder Woman's hometown, but Thamarcia, the sisters, you know what I'm talking about?
Yes.
In the beginning. That was like the first 45 minutes of the movie.
Oh, forever.
Yeah.
I don't know. I feel like the scenes in this movie were much longer than the Avengers Endgame scenes. Like, I feel like in the Avenger Endgame scenes, they had scenes that were, like, to the point and, like, added little bits and pieces to the timeline, but this movie just felt like unnecessary carried on scenes. I
mean, part of that, I know we're kind of, I guess this is, I was going to ask positive negatives, so we're getting through all the negatives early here.
Well, how long's the positive part going to be?
There's a couple things I liked in this movie. The slow motion overuse in this movie was insane. Everything.
If we would have eliminated that movie, probably would have been 3 hours.
Yeah, 100%.
It was insane.
The slow-mo was really something else. Like
they had to for Flash.
Yes, that's true. Yeah, the Flash slow-mo was cool.
Yeah, it was because all the electricity. I mean, he runs really weird. I don't know if he's a track star because his form throughout the running was a little weird. The man was like a fish or something, but it was weird. But the other slow-mos, you're right, it was quite unnecessary.
Like, there's a lot of Wonder Woman slow-mo. There's Batman slow-mo, and I'm like, okay. Like,
dude's not even fast.
Yeah, like...
He's slow. I probably run a faster 40-yard dash.
Yeah, 20-year Batman veteran there. So, one thing I did like, though, I will say, is Cyborg. Cyborg's whole character, because in the first Justice League, he got no screen time, really. You know, he was just there, wasn't fleshed out, and obviously now here you see him, you get the backstory of him being a football star, getting in the car crash with his mom that leads to his mom's death, but then the experimentation that his dad undergoes on him with the mother box that saves his life and creates him as a cyborg, and then we deal with him brooding after that because he's 90% metal at that point, and only a little bit human. And then we see how he really changes throughout the movie, and how that even leads to the development of the Justice League and kind of affects Aquaman in a way like that. So I will say one positive is Cyborg. I believe it's Ray Fisher who played him. I'll look it up real quick. Yeah, Ray Fisher as Victor Stone was a fantastic performance, in my opinion.
I think he did a wonderful job. I think they set it up to where I think he could get his own movie.
Yeah.
Because there's definitely a lot, like you're right, they showed the past, they showed him as a football star, his mom dying, his whole, like, what led up to him being, what he is, but I feel like there's a lot of the movie that, there could be a whole movie about him being, like, the transition from him being lost to him, like, finding, like, what he wants to do and meant to do with his, like, abilities and stuff. But, because they kind of just hop from, like, this man's, like, depressed, doesn't know what he's, like, meant to do, like, scared, like, doesn't like how he turned out, and then, like, I felt like the next scene was him being like, alright, I'm all good, let's do this. Like, I don't know, just felt like they were just gonna throw in a whole new movie for him, dude.
What's interesting is I was just looking at the people see me clicking away. I was looking at the DCEU, their future projects and stuff like that. There is not a Cyborg movie that's been confirmed or a Cyborg movie currently in development among, like, the 20 movies that
20?
are in. No, there's a lot of movies, not 20, maybe 10. There's 5 confirmed.
Really?
And then another 10 or so that look like they're in development based on different characters. And Cyborg is not on any of them, which is interesting.
Is another Wonder Woman?
So...
Because that'd be sad to hear.
They said Wonder Woman 2. It looks like there's a spin-off with the Amazons.
A movie?
Yes.
That might be interesting. If we get a little bit less of, what's her name? Gal Gadot.
Yeah, I don't think Gal Gadot. I think it's a complete spin-off. She wouldn't be in there.
Hopefully not.
Yeah, but they're... Oh, Wonder Woman 3 as well. Let's see. That they are... That the plot for the third Wonder Woman film had been already written.
Okay.
So there you go. We get the trilogy. You don't like Gal Gadot?
Wow. I don't know if it's her acting that I don't like. I think maybe she's a really good actress. Because I think I've seen something else with Gal Gadot. I think the writing for her lines is terrible. I feel like every 4 words out of her, or quotes out of her mouth is something corny or cheesy. Like, or she just comes out and, like, acts like everything's cheesy. I don't know. It just felt like they were trying to make her, like, one of those... The whole time I was like, they're trying to make this to where, like, somebody remembers this quote. Because she would say it super slow, super dramatic.
Oh, yeah.
And I was like, okay, this is the 10th time she said this. Like, I don't know why.
Right. Which, to me, I think you're right. It's more of bad screenplay or bad writing. Because, in my opinion, the most quotable lines from this movie are from either Flash, which are delivered very, very quickly, or from Batman, when he's just being his dickish rich self. Yeah, exactly. But that's the point. Is
with
like
the car, especially when they're together. When Flash and Batman are together, those are my best.
Oh
my
yeah,
favorite scenes.
100%.
Like, because Flash is funny and Batman's so serious. They just, like, those scenes collide so well.
And having the younger Flash, I think I'm critical of DC for having the 20-year veteran Batman, because I think then you miss out on so many storytelling moments there. But having the younger Flash paired with the older Batman, it leads to, like, a little bit of the Spider-Man Tony Stark dynamic you see in Marvel, where it's like Spider-Man's confused a lot of times. Tony's like, yeah, you just do this and that.
Do this, and then Batman does the same.
Yeah, and Flash is genuinely confused, like, what's your superpower? And Bruce Wayne's just like, I'm rich.
I'm rich, and then that's the end of the scene. They get in the car, right, and they drive away or something. And have you looked at that car? That Mercedes?
No, but it didn't even seem real.
There's only one in existence.
Yeah, okay, I was going to say, did it seem real?
I sat there looking it up as I was reading. It's like $1.6 million.
Ooh.
It's a beautiful car.
It was stunning.
That Mercedes.
It looked like it should have been in 2050.
Oh, 100%. It's like the most futuristic looking vehicle, but there's only one in existence for this movie, I guess.
Wow. Well, that's crazy. There you go. Warner Brothers actually did something right for once.
Might have a bidding war on eBay later.
100%. Yeah, you're gonna be in it. Just go.
I'll watch it.
How's your Bitcoin going? That's the end. That's the question.
Wow, we'll do a whole cryptocurrency episode.
Yeah, we can. People need to explain to them.
Yeah, I need to explain my losses to myself as well. That'd be a fun one.
But so there's a Flash movie in development. I really liked his casting. The Flash, making his. He made his live-action debut, obviously, in the original Justice League, but again, fleshing out that character a bit more here.
Is it going to be, what's his name, Ezra?
Yeah, should still be Ezra Miller. 2022.
It's the best choice they've made.
So and they've confirmed that it's going to be a Flashpoint type movie where he's going to go back in time and mess things up. And we even get a hint of that here because he mentions, in the final scene when the Unity actually occurs and everyone dies and he's the only one left for a brief period of time, which this scene kind of confused me. I knew it was happening, but they didn't portray it well that he was traveling back in time.
When he was running?
In my opinion, yeah. Like, I tried to think of somebody like my dad trying to watch that and be like, wait, everyone's just back now? Like, I think they would have confused.
All they really did was, bring back the landscape.
Yes.
Like, they could have shown a little... I don't know if they had this, but, I don't know. They could have done smaller things, like a clock ticking backwards, maybe.
Yes.
Like showing, just a quick blip of a clock, but, I don't know, just, you're right, small things that they could have added to show that.
And I think, to your point, in the Arrowverse, right, that Flash, we've already talked about Grant Gustin's Flash a little bit, just as a comparison, that he goes through a portal whenever he time travels and does all of his weird stuff. So even though the aesthetics, I think, of the lightning are really cool with this one, it just left it a little bit confusing, in my opinion. And for other people that may be of the older generation, perhaps, that aren't as used to superhero movies. But then again, why are they watching a 4-hour cut of a superhero movie if they aren't used to it?
I would warn my dad and say, don't waste 4 hours of your life.
100%. So, how do you feel about Batfleck and then maybe some of the other, castings, like Lois Lane's in this, their roles?
Lois Lane's quite the attractive character.
Okay.
Gal Gadot is quite attractive as well.
She is.
Mute her lines and be a wonderful movie. Not that her voice is bad.
I think it's the screenwriting.
It's got to be the screenwriting because I used to be so into Gal Gadot and now I'm just like, oh no. But I'm trying to mentally be like, okay, it's the screenwriting. It's not Gal Gadot's fault. Maybe she doesn't talk like this in person.
Right.
So Gal Gadot hit my line. But I think Ben Affleck, wonderful job. I think Flash is my favorite character.
Okay.
Because he adds comic relief throughout the whole movie. Aquaman is, I don't pronounce it right, Jason Momoa?
Yeah, that was perfect.
That was Mimosa for the longest time.
He's my favorite.
Really?
Yeah.
I think also the screenwriting when it came to him was quite, I don't know. First of all, there was a whole part of him just walking into the water and people singing.
Yeah, so that was the first scene in the movie. It was really weird because I see him as a god.
Yeah, but they see him as God. Yeah, and then she sniffed his whole robe.
She was a little into him.
You think? Maybe she was begging for more fish to come. Maybe that was a plea, please more.
I don't know. All I know is there were a lot of him singing in this movie for so many characters. I was over it by the first hour, with how much slow play music and bad crap's about to go down in this movie, and then nothing bad really went down in the movie.
The whole first hour was that. It was just I mean, the way they introduced all the characters slowly over a long period of time was just seemed like such a drag on.
Right. I do think the biggest improvement though from the first movie is the Cyborg stuff. Putting him more in it, putting him as the heart and soul of the movie really, and how to deal with that type of pain, I think is the biggest improvement. What do you think about that?
No, I think they did a wonderful job with that. Problem is, I haven't seen their first one.
I haven't either, so.
So how do you know?
I just know, I've read a lot of reviews about it. I didn't watch it because of how bad it was, the reviews.
Yeah, I mean, I don't want to watch it either.
And I read about the issues, and obviously the issues with Joss Whedon, who has now been on a lot of legal issues as well.
Really?
Oh, being abusive and stuff like that. I guess he apparently threatened Gal Gadot's career. Ray Fisher has spoken up about it, so I don't know all the details about that. The Cyborg. Cyborg's the Cyborg's actor. So
is he in Star Wars? No, that's something
Star
Fisher.
Wars. It's Carrie Fisher.
Close enough.
We're getting there. Aren't you a big Star Wars person and you just forgot about Carrie Fisher's existence?
Well, rest in peace to Carrie Fisher. Rest in peace. Yeah, didn't know if they were related. Forgot. I don't know the actor's name I didn't know it was Ray Fisher.
Yeah, it's Ray Fisher.
Dang, so he's getting accused by him too?
Whedon is, yeah. So there's a lot of issues with Joss Whedon, outside of the fact that Justice League sucked as a movie.
Terrible at his job and terrible human being, apparently.
Yep.
Accusations, just... Not saying he is, but
I will say though, when there's multiple accusations, my thing with I haven't talked about the Deshaun Watson stuff on the podcast yet.
Ooh.
But I mean,
wait, never mind. Keep going.
When there's like 1 or 2 or 3 now, it's like, okay, we gotta look into all these. And then when there's 16 stories of the massage parlor, I'm not trying to laugh because it's funny. It's the exact same thing. It's like, dude, I don't like this is clearly a big issue, and obviously he hasn't been traded yet. So that shows how now it's affecting his career as well, which frankly it should. If
I don't think it shouldn't affect. I mean, I don't think he should be producing any more movies.
Oh, we did. Yeah.
No, just I think after, like you said, Justice League was a fail. I mean, do we know any other movies he's produced?
He was the first Avengers and Avengers Age of Ultron, I believe. Yeah, I don't know what else he's been on though. What he's directed.
He did Age of Ultron?
Yes, and then he quit Marvel because he was so stressed out.
Good, smart.
I'm gonna look up his
because I think the last 2 Avengers movies were much better than the first 2 Avengers movies.
I think the first Avengers is still like revered because of how it was able to pull off all of it together. And especially now that we've seen multiple times with DC trying with their characters, it doesn't work out. I know, but I just think that the Justice League. I just think too that DC rushed all of it.
Mm-hmm.
They really tried to compete.
They had to.
Yeah, but they could have slow played it. DC has such great characters. I would even argue better characters than Marvel. And based on a comic base, like Batman's
on comic base, but
yes, in the movies so far realized no, that's my point.
Terrible. I feel like I don't know. I feel like they should have just waited till Endgame, like Marvel finished up their whole little chapter with Endgame, and then they started to push out movies.
Yeah,
because it's hard to compete neck and neck, especially when Marvel does their thing so well. Mm-hmm. I think that maybe they should have just waited a little bit. Yeah, I'm just I mean. I don't run DC or anything, but that's what I would have done.
Well, it's just very clear, like that Marvel's formula worked because they brought in characters that you didn't think would work as movies, and then did it. Iron Man, they brought him in 2 movies before they teamed up. They had Thor come in. People were like, what's a Thor movie gonna like? Well, they did it. Captain America, same thing, and of course, the Incredible Hulk kind of. Notwithstanding from that was basically a failure, but they brought those characters along. We literally had before Justice League. Man of Steel, Batman vs. Superman, Wonder Woman, I believe, and then Justice League. And it's like...
Yeah, and they're like, all right, let's make a movie.
Yeah.
And put them all.
Yeah, exactly. And include Flash and Cyborg, and we're not going to really...
That they only, you've only heard of from, TV, right?
Yep.
It's just, I don't know. I think, it also has... They could have written the screenplay so much better to maybe explain that, but I think... The screenplay of Marvel is just so hard to compete with. Think about how many memorable quotes come from those movies, but they aren't forced.
Yes.
You know what I mean? I felt like every quote in this movie was so forced upon me. Like, oh, you should remember this. But from Marvel, there's all these quotes that you just remember, and you're like, oh shoot, they didn't force that upon me to remember that one.
The only ones that don't feel forced are from Batman, Flash, and because they're few and far between, and a little bit of Aquaman sometimes because he's just like a swashbuckling. They get that tone right early in this movie that he's just you don't need to see the Aquaman movie to see that he's just a swashbuckling type of guy who's like, whatever, I'm just here, I swim, I drink whiskey, whatever he drinks a lot, and whatever, you guys are ridiculous, this is madness.
I mean, his intro when he came back to save them was sick.
Oh, yeah.
When they broke the dam.
Yes.
Or broke the little tunnel that they were in and the water started coming. I don't know how he didn't control all of it and he got overwhelmed with water, but, it was a sick scene.
No, it really was. Yeah, it's a great point. Because I didn't even see that coming, I didn't see him
coming through there,
yeah. So, that was awesome. I agree with you there. So, Aquaman's my favorite DC character, though, right now. The way Jason Momoa's...
Jason Momoa.
Mimosa, yeah, we're going to call him on these lists now. Jason Momoa's portrayal of Aquaman is awesome. In the Aquaman movie as well.
I think he's the best character they have.
Yep.
As of right now, I know everybody loved the Aquaman movie. Mm-hmm. I think it received way more love than the Wonder Woman movies.
The first Wonder Woman movie was really beloved. Good. Yeah. The second one, not so much.
Have you seen it?
No. I'm just saying from a critical side.
I don't know if they switched up whoever wrote the screenplay, like I said, again, because, again, Gal Gadot is just forcing these memorable quotes upon me, and I'm just like, okay, it could have been better. But you're right. I still think Aquaman is, their biggest hit in my opinion, because they just, yeah, there's all these Batmans and stuff. Like The Dark Knight, I feel like is another Batman movie that's like up there, really big.
Oh, 100%.
But Aquaman was like how long ago was Dark Knight?
A
That's
decade,
the last Batman.
13 years ago.
Well, besides Joker. Joker was a big success as well.
Yes, that's true.
But besides that, Aquaman was their big, like, knight in shining armor.
In the extended universe, too. Because Joker's outside the extended universe, as are the Dark Knight movies. Mm-hmm. So, yeah, that's a good point, too. They make Superman basically unbeatable in this movie. Like, as soon as he gets revived, he just kicks everybody's ass. Mm-hmm. And Batman's just like, please, don't kill me. Is this the right move to make? Because, you know, you see Wonder Woman kicking ass, you see all these people, and obviously Batman beat Superman with the kryptonite and Batman versus Superman.
That's cheating, but yeah.
Yeah, sure. But, like, I don't know, it just felt weird to me that Superman is just so much more better than everybody in this movie. Like, Cyborg was pushing him and couldn't move him. Like, it just felt odd.
He reminds me of Wonder Woman, or, what's her name? Captain Marvel.
Okay.
They kind of threw that in there. I mean, who defeats her? Nobody laid a finger on her, right?
No.
In Endgame, nobody lays a finger on her.
No, yeah. Thanos kind of fights her, but Thanos had, like...
But she's also not in it. There's so many different characters. It feels different because Superman's one... Like, in Avengers Endgame, there's 30 different superheroes, right? This one only has, like, 5, and they show Superman a lot because he is the one that the crown jewel, the thing they need to win. Yeah. But you're right, they do make him seem like this, like, unstoppable figure.
Yeah.
Which...
It just felt odd to me.
No, it definitely was, because the scene where, what's his name, was pushing him and just not even moving a bit, like, I don't know, I understand, but still.
So, I want to talk about the biggest plot hole.
Okay.
Martian Manhunter shows up, maybe, I don't even know, halfway through the movie.
Zach's favorite.
I like Martian Manhunter a lot, I think it's cool. To talk to Lois Lane, whatever, and then is not seen again the entire movie until the end, where he shows up at Bruce Wayne's house. First of all, how does everybody know who Bruce Wayne is Batman in this continuity?
And then where he lives.
Yeah, Lex Luthor knew it, right? In that post-credit scene telling Deathstroke.
Also, don't understand that whole timeline, but we'll talk about that in a second.
Yeah, we will. Because I want to talk about where DC goes from here.
Oh.
After that in a second, because I think it's an interesting question now.
Yeah.
Got a little excited there with my iPad.
Martian Man, here we go.
Martian Man. Woo. But that he shows up at the end of the movie, you know, knowing who Bruce Wayne is. He's like blah blah blah, whatever, like that. And the issue I have with all of that is that he tells Bruce at the end of the movie, like, I will always be there, whatever, like implying that he'll be around to help save things, whatever. But he was missing during the entire Russia scene when this man can fly. He's literally from Mars, obviously Martian from Mars, all this stuff. Like, he should have known what was happening in Russia.
Yeah,
and
not too far.
The world was basically destroyed outside of Flash's heroics to reverse time. So where was he then?
Yeah, literally, he showed up in a blip, saved Flash from running backwards in time. Like, I don't know. You're right. It's weird that they only showed him twice in the whole movie. When one of his scenes seemed quite pointless.
Literally.
The Lois Lane, we already went over that one. But besides that, like, yeah, you're right. Where is he? But I mean, Captain Marvel did the same thing. Remember?
There was a plausible excuse though for why she was out doing things in the cosmos.
And we don't know that Martian Man wasn't doing that? You think he was on his couch?
He was talking to Lois Lane at one point. So
he was on Earth.
He was on Earth.
Dipped and went somewhere else. But still, you know what I mean? Like,
I guess, yeah.
You're right, it doesn't make sense because people also ask, Thanos was snapping his finger and Earth disappeared, like, half of Earth disappeared. Why didn't she come and chill then?
Right, that's true.
But I mean, I understand what you're saying. Like, they definitely could have added him in there, and then he doesn't have his own movie.
I don't think one's in development. I have the full thing in development.
They could have added, maybe a couple more scenes with him and then given him his own thing.
They don't have him as a developed. Some of these developed movies, we're going to talk about them all.
Whoever's doing the organization over there at DC, yeah, I'll leave my number in the description if you guys need any help because it's a mess.
Like, and the one thing is, there's like armchair quarterbacking, right, in the NFL and type of like thing like this. Like, I would have done this, I've done this, and a lot of that's results based. I think, in my opinion, like the Hail Mary is a great call. Not the Hail Mary, but like some blitz or stuff like that's a great call when it works. But if it doesn't, then you look like an idiot.
Exactly.
But in movies and stuff like that, I think it's really interesting because comic book fans have done the whole thing. Like, and even me, like, I don't know comic books.
Yeah.
But I can read all the stories. I read all the team-ups. I read how Wolverine interacts with this person in the 80s type thing like that. And so then when I think people are questioning, like, well, what do you guys know about future movies? Like, well, we've seen, one, the biggest competitor be very successful, and two, I know what I would want to see on the screen. I know how I want...
I'm the watcher.
Yeah.
Like, what?
Yeah, exactly. Like, I know what I want, what kind of team-ups I want, and what I want my flavor of Aquaman to be, or Flash, or stuff like that. And sure, sometimes movie makers that are really great show you different things that you never knew you wanted. But the point is that I think with actual movies and team-ups and stuff like that, the fans can really, and that's a larger point about this movie, is that the fans made this movie happen. The fans demanded the Snyder Cut be released. And
I mean,
better than the original.
Yeah.
And I think there's a whole question about fandom in general after that. You know, can fans demand this if they don't like this? And I think that's dangerous. I think we need unique storytelling.
But I mean, after putting that bad movie out and the outrage, like imagine if, I know we keep going back to Marvel, but imagine
it's
if
the biggest
Endgame was
competitor.
bad.
Yeah.
Then what? People would be outraged, like literally outraged. I cannot imagine. But luckily, and you know, they did a wonderful job.
Yeah.
In the game. But one thing that's big for me is, I always think about this, is if Marvel wasn't a thing, or if we hadn't seen Endgame and if you haven't seen any of the Marvel movies, would you still look at the DC movies as good movies, like wonderfully made movies? Because I constantly am thinking, oh, but Marvel did this. They could have done this. You know what I mean?
I think some movies individually, like the original Wonder Woman and Aquaman, are great movies outside of anything. I think I kind of hit on it already, but I think with the comparison to Marvel comes in when there's not like a Kevin Feige person in DC that we know of that is making all these plans together, that is putting Thanos in the 2011 or 2012 Avengers, only to have that pay off 7 years down the line when he actually becomes the big bad. Like Darkseid shows up in this movie, and Darkseid's incredible. He's the DC's version of Thanos.
Exactly.
But I have no hope for them pulling that off correctly or anything like that.
Especially because they can barely get 5 years worth of intertwining together, and how are they going to get that? Or 2 years.
Oh, and the other thing too with like Joker, some of their best projects come outside the continuity. Like Aquaman actually gets confused within the continuity of this movie, and that's some of their best stuff. So it's almost like this came with Marvel. Marvel at first was using their B-level heroes, right? Iron Man, Thor, those type of people. The X-Men were with Fox still. And Spider-Man was still with Sony, and the Fantastic Four, I believe, were also with Sony. So they couldn't use their most famous characters. And so then they had to slowly build up these B-level characters, all while using still the same type of theme over across all of them. And they got lucky with casting, right? Robert Downey Jr. at that point was not a shoo-in to succeed.
Oh, no.
Same thing as Chris Hemsworth as Thor. Yeah. But they nailed it.
And Chris Evans.
Yes, sure, as Captain America. So they got lucky as well. And then, as soon as they build up that narrative, then they let the directors cook, right? Black Panther was a very different feel. Captain Marvel was a very different feel. And so it's almost like DC is caught in between these two worlds of, they still have all their characters. Like, we've seen Superman. How many iterations of Superman?
Oh, God. Too many.
Between TV shows. How many iterations of Batman?
Too many.
Right. And it's almost like they panicked. They made Man of Steel first, which was... Like, what, I'm just saying in terms of the critical balance.
Okay.
I mean, making Superman murder his enemy is tough for Superman, because that's not Superman.
Yeah, that's not his thing.
So I just think there's a lot of... I think that's my long-winded answer to your question, is just the big picture stuff there is where DC's really lacking. And why, now that, presumably, it leads into my question, that Zack Snyder's going to be done. He said he's done with DC. The Snyder fans still want him to come back and realize his vision of the Justice League trilogy, which I don't know if I can do another 4-hour Zack Snyder cut.
I can do a 2-hour movie or something.
I could do a 2-hour movie. I agree.
But, you know...
But there'd be no slow motion for that to occur.
You're right. It would be like a 3-hour movie then. We're going to have to leave out Flash, because slow-mo...
Flash.
Too much. But Zack Snyder, we're going to, as much as we want him back, and we want another movie... How long ago was it that the passing of his daughter was?
It was during the filming of the original Justice League. Unfortunately, she died by suicide.
18?
17. Right around there. 17, 18.
And for him to come back and finish this after that,
yeah,
I think he can take his time.
Yeah,
he can go to the. You know what I mean? Like after something like that, we don't need you back right now.
Agreed. And Warner Brothers, especially now, is also saying that they don't want it back, presumably because they want to keep control over their property and not lose it all to the fans, type thing like that. So that leads me into this question about the end of the movie, right? Because the movie ends, things are tied up nicely, the heroes win, there's a Justice League now, yay. But there's an apocalyptic ending, which actually gets hinted at during the movie. Bruce Wayne keeps seeing visions. Cyborg sees the vision as they
or something.
As they revive Superman, where he sees Darkseid killing Aquaman and Wonder Woman and
all of them in one fight,
and finding the anti-life equation, which is what a lot of this movie revolves around, as well as the mother boxes. But then we go into that future, presumably, where Superman succumbs to the anti-life equation. It gets taken over by Darkseid, and Earth is scorched. And you have a team. One of the funniest teams I think get put together is it's Batman, it's Flash, it's Cyborg, it's Mira, Deathstroke, and Joker. As you mentioned, Joker is in this movie, and one of the great use of this was rated R. One of the great uses of the F-bomb.
Oh my god!
I mean, that was great.
It was wonderful. I mean. Who played Joker? It was
Leto. It was Leto's Joker. Leto. Jared Leto's Joker.
Do we like that?
I mean, it had to be because of continuity.
Yeah, also true. I think he does a wonderful job. I would have loved to see more of him, but like you said, that's the extended, right? They didn't want that really in there that much.
Yeah, I mean, I would have loved to see him in Suicide Squad.
Yes, also true.
Which is the next DC movie actually coming out. So I guess my theory was that this was Snyder's send-off. Was like, this is kind of what I would have done, and they would have had to I don't know how they would have done it, but it's kind of the Endgame vibe of we're going to have to reverse this stuff and all this stuff and get Superman back. This is what I would have done with it, but unfortunately I'm not going to be able to complete this, and I don't want to do it anymore. I think that was what that was, because we were like, we want to see the fully fleshed out. I think it's interesting. It's really dark, but that's my guess.
Was it necessary?
I don't think it was necessary.
You just think it was Snyder thing, saying like...
This is kind of what I would have done.
Yeah.
And been done with it. I think Snyder wanted to get it out at least.
But, okay, so then... I don't understand the whole, like, Dusty and the world thing. Like, those scenes were split up, no?
There were some, like, visions during the actual movie that hinted at it. And then you got basically the full, like, in that time frame, however many years down the road. At the end, as an epilogue.
Maybe I need to watch, like, all those combined.
Yeah.
Because I fully didn't understand that part. Maybe I was half asleep. I did watch it in multiple nights. But still, like, I just didn't fully understand. Like, the whole Joker part, I didn't know what was going on.
Yeah, it's basically that Darkseid wins.
In what reality? Like, in his
dream?
Same in the dream?
No, the same one. The dreams all connect to that reality. And that's what happens. So it's almost... it's basically the most... slap in your face foreshadowing you could ever have.
Oh, okay. But it doesn't end up happening.
Well, that's what Snyder would have done in the Justice League sequel.
He would have had it
fully 2 hours of it. Is my understanding.
Okay. Now that makes better sense. So do we agree with the way that it ended?
I mean, I think it would have been interesting to see it fully realized, in another Justice League trilogy type thing, but I think DC needs to just move on and restart almost. Just reset it. Like, get the Flash to go back in time and mess crap up and just reset the whole thing.
You think he goes back in time from this? Or what? What do you think he goes back in time?
I'm not sure. Probably right around there.
Yeah.
The Flashpoint to save his mom type thing like that. It's a very famous comic book story.
Oh, it's everywhere.
One of the most
They have
famous.
that in the show.
Yes, they do.
Constantly.
So that's going to be coming up in 2022. And so then my question is to you. Where does DC have to go now? Because the next movie is The Suicide Squad. They have great casting. Like Margot Robbie as Harley Quinn. Because that's the thing. I hope if they ever do reboot the DCEU, and of course we're getting Robert Pattinson's Batman now. Ben Affleck's done. There's been rumors about Henry Cavill leaving the Superman post. Stuff like that. Like, I hope they keep Godot as Wonder Woman. I hope they keep Margot Robbie as Harley Quinn.
They have to.
I don't know about who they're going to
I'll never watch another DC movie if they lose those two.
Oh, yeah. And then The Flash, obviously with Ezra Miller, I think is fantastic. Ray Fisher as Cyborg. I want to keep half the cast.
The good half.
Yeah, exactly.
The outdated half can go.
Yeah. So
Was Will Smith in the second one? That's what it's called, Birds of...
I don't think he was in Birds.
Okay, you think he'll be in this one?
No, because they're setting up a Deadshot solo movie. That's what I'm gonna get to. So, I'm gonna ask you about DC's future.
Okay.
But I'm also gonna read you all the projects they have in development and the future films they already have.
Okay.
So Suicide Squad's coming out this year, and it's literally called The Suicide Squad. It's not Suicide Squad 2, so almost implying a reboot. That's John Cena, Idris Elba, Margot Robbie still. All of that will be in there. Black Adam, The Rock's Black Adam, finally coming in 2022. I don't know if there's a...
They finished that a while ago now. Remember he posted and said...
He's training for it.
Oh, I thought he posted and said we're done.
I don't know. Maybe they're starting. I don't know. I'm not sure. It's 2022, though.
That's
going
to be weird. It's going to be weird.
Flash, 2022. Aquaman 2 in 2022 as well. And then Shazam! Fury of the Gods in 2023. So there is a Shazam thing. And then other films in development, we already talked about the Amazons a little bit earlier. There's a Batgirl movie in development. Whedon was hired to write that one. I'm not sure.
Goodbye.
Maybe going to be on HBO Max. Yeah, they finished. They cleaned out after Whedon left. Black Hawk. I've never heard of Black Hawk, but that's going to be a movie.
In when? 2023?
It doesn't say. These are just in development right now. So still screenwriting. Some of these may not come to fruition, but this is what Wikipedia is telling us.
They're still screenwriting.
Yes.
Might need some help. Let me know.
Blue Beetle. Booster Gold. Deadshot. This one's going to happen. Gotham City Sirens.
Okay.
Which is going to be, Robbie, Birds of Prey type thing. Leto's going to come in as the Joker, it looks like. And hopes to explore, Poison Ivy and Catwoman as well, possibly. So that could be an interesting one. The Green Lantern Corps, which Green Lantern was rumored to be appearing in this movie.
I heard that too.
But he did not. So,
nobody liked that movie, right?
Well, that was a messed up movie. I like the Green Lantern.
I never watched it. I just heard it was absolutely.
That was Ryan Reynolds.
Then yeah, I heard it's absolutely terrible.
Ryan Reynolds can only play Deadpool,
and that's it.
Yeah,
that's it. I don't want to see him in anything else. He's so funny in Deadpool. I mean, he's a funny guy in general, but I don't need him as Green Lantern, bro. You can.
It's kind of how Chris Evans, he played what was it, the Human Torch, early on, and now I just don't acknowledge it. He's Captain America.
Yeah. What do you mean Human Torch? Don't get out of
here. Yeah,
exactly. They shouldn't even have that on his Google profile.
On his IMDb.
Yeah.
So, Green Lantern Corps, Our Man. That's a hero, I guess.
Our Man?
Our Man.
Okay.
Lobo, who's an anti-hero, so that'd be an interesting one. Nightwing.
Wow, they have a lot in works.
It's still going.
Really?
Nightwing, based on Batman's sidekick, Dick Grayson. Plastic Man. I believe Plastic Man is going to be in...
A terrible movie. Yeah, you're right.
It will be.
It will be a terrible movie. We have Our Man, right? Our Man.
Yeah, Our Man.
And
some of these
Man.
names are tough. Isn't Plastic Man going to be in... Is he going to be in Suicide Squad or no? I can't remember. That's Polka Dot Man.
I didn't know Plastic... Wow.
Did you not see
this? Okay, this is what I'm talking about. Remember earlier when I asked you these characters' names?
Mm-hmm.
What is that? We have Thor, Hulk, all these creative, cool names, right? In Marvel. We have... I mean, the only ones that end in man are what?
Iron Man.
Spider-Man.
Yeah.
Give me a couple more. You're just adding man to the end of plastic. Are you kidding me? That is a terrible job on DC part, and I'm so sorry. But I can't watch a movie called Plastic Man.
Yeah, I will not watch that one. Static Shock. Looks like Michael B. Jordan is a producer.
He's got to be in it, too. No way he just produces it.
Yeah. I don't know what Static Shock's about. Supergirl, which should be interesting. Superman's cousin, obviously. So, big fan of her in Injustice, too.
Yeah.
Untitled Superman film, which has a paragraph describing the issues that has come on. I have no clue. I'm trying to read through it right now. I have no clue.
Well, we're not going to watch that one either.
Okay, Wonder Woman 3, as we talked about, and then Zatanna, the magic wielding. So that's something else that we haven't seen. It's the magic.
Wow, that's a lot of movies.
Yeah, it's a lot of movies. And a lot of those are in development. Like I said, the Superman one is a full paragraph. So who knows how many of them are actually going to come to fruition.
They have the funding for any of this?
I mean, it's Warner Brothers. HBO Max has been doing pretty well. They might have. I don't know.
I think Warner Brothers just got bought. I thought they got bought by Disney, but I'm wrong.
But yeah, DC, no.
That's what I read.
No, they did not get bought by Disney. That'd be an antitrust lawsuit and a half. Are you kidding me? Because then that'd mean Disney would also own DC.
Oh.
That'd be actually dope. You see Iron Man versus Batman. Could you imagine?
I don't. That would be terrible.
Yeah, probably.
Who wins?
I don't know. Probably
What do you mean?
Probably Iron Man, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're both rich, but one actually is smart. The other one just has a smart guy working for him, right? Isn't that how Batman works? I mean, smart.
No, Batman's brilliant.
Is he Iron Man brilliant?
I don't know.
Iron Man created his own element.
That is true. It's a dope scene.
It's an amazing scene.
People hate on Iron Man too, but that's a dope scene in it.
But,
Stark Expo right here. Iron Man 2. Let's go.
Okay, exactly.
Boom.
Look, one of the worst Iron Man movies, but
it is the worst one.
It is by far one of the worst Marvel movies. But would we would we want to see Captain Marvel versus Superman?
See, the thing is, like, there's no equivalent because like Captain Marvel, the thing for her being possibly the strongest in the Marvel universe is that she's directly from an Infinity Stone, right? Same thing why Scarlet Witch is so powerful. So like, there's no like equivalent to that.
Superman is what, like a god?
God, I guess. That's the thing I think that throws me off with DC is everyone's just a god.
Yeah, they don't really give you like besides what's his name,
Cyborg.
He's like created, but everybody else like the Amazonian god. We have the Atlantean god, and then we have whatever Batman is, just rich, I guess.
Yeah. I guess the equivalent to that in Marvel would be Thor and Asgard, but Asgard's its own world. So then it's not, because like,
they're on Earth.
The Wonder Woman is like somewhere else, and Atlantis is in the ocean. So it's like, I don't know, maybe it's just a weird thing. I don't know. We get in the Marvel DC comparison again and again.
Things that won't happen.
But that's because DC is just, like I said, just in a lot of ways inferior. So
in second place. Always.
Do you have a favorite project, though, that they would be developing out of that? And, I mean, where do you think DC, I guess maybe tonally, has to go with this? You know, going forward.
I think they're being... Classic Man. We're going to start with that.
Classic Man. There you go. Okay.
We're going to start with the names.
They should cast Elton John for that.
They should do something like that. But these names are terrible. I mean... I think they aren't doing enough to emphasize their best characters, their best movies so far. They're bringing in a ton of new stuff, I understand, because they need more in their storyline. But what I didn't hear is what I really wanted to hear was, I'm going to say his name. I'm going to say his name wrong. Hakeem?
Oh, Phoenix.
Yes.
Joaquin Phoenix.
Sure. That's all I wanted.
That is the Joker. Yeah, your previous podcast appearance.
My favorite DC movie, by far, I think a lot of people. Favorite DC movie. But we don't see him in there.
No.
Why? That movie was a hit, no? It was one of the biggest ones in theaters.
Yeah.
And I haven't heard really a bad review about it. He did a wonderful job as the character of Joker. In my opinion, I don't want to see a movie that has what's his name as Joker anymore.
Leto.
No, I just don't want to see it.
Yeah.
Because I feel like I've already seen this one where Joker was the main character, and it's such a big, iconic role. And then we have back to what's his name?
Phoenix.
Yeah.
Just say Phoenix.
Phoenix and Leto.
Phoenix. Leto. Yeah, there you go.
Leto,
not Jay Leno.
That's what I keep thinking. And when he said that, I was like, there's no way he was that skinny in the movie. I'm confused what's going on here.
Taking shots at Jay Leno.
Isn't everybody? Okay. But no, I don't think they're emphasizing their best characters enough. I think they need to get rid of whoever writes the screenplay for all of these movies. I don't know if Wonder Woman 3 is going to be amazing because nobody really liked what was it, Wonder Woman 1984?
84, I believe, yeah.
I don't think a ton of people liked that. I think they could have done. You said they're doing one about the Amazonians
separate spinoff.
I think that'll be good.
Yeah,
because I'm actually interested in their past, and because all you really know about their past is the storytelling from the mother, queen or whatever. So I'm interested in that one. Besides that, I don't know. I think they could have given Cyborg a movie.
I am shocked that if maybe not his own movie, that then there's not a Teen Titan movie with him kind of coming back as the leader.
Will they have a show? No,
they've had a show for years. I mean, that was one of the classic cartoons for our age.
Yeah, but they have the live action show, right?
Oh, yeah.
Never watched it. I just saw it on HBO Max last night.
But you're right. So maybe that's why.
Is he in that?
I don't I genuinely don't know.
See, that's what I'm saying. Is like they have all these characters that they just threw into Justice League, but they don't have their own movie
or just backstory or anything.
Yeah. I feel like they should have given Cyborg as a movie. The Aquaman 2, right? That's in there.
Yes,
okay,
that's confirmed.
That'll be a good movie. Only because Jason Momoa will be in there, and then I mean, are they gonna go back in time for Jason?
I have no clue.
Because at the end of the movie, there was no cliffhanger. Yes, there was.
With Black Manta.
Black Manta was alive with Jimmy Woo?
Oh, I don't know what his name is, but yeah,
Jimmy Woo from... Isn't he from...
Marvel?
He's in like everything.
He might be.
It was a big TikTok trend 2 weeks ago. It was just to
everything.
blow him up. But, I don't know. That'll be interesting. The Aquaman 2. I don't really like the Black Manta character, but...
Yeah, it will be interesting, at least, to see him take that on. So, I think your point's true. They're not emphasizing their best characters, and I feel like just everything's rushed.
Very.
Like, the death of Superman is an iconic thing. It's iconic among comic books and in storylines, and really shook up the DC comic universe. And they blew that in the second movie of this universe. And then before Batman and Superman's friendship,
that was in
really
what's it called? It's in
Batman vs Superman. They blew it.
I haven't seen that movie. I should probably watch that one.
It wasn't good.
I don't understand why they're friends then. But I'll have to watch it and I'll have to figure that out.
Oh, because their moms share the same name.
Even weirder.
Literally, Batman's about to stab Superman with the Kryptonian spear, and he says, "Save Martha," Superman does. And Batman freezes like, "Martha's my mom's name." Superman's like, "It's my mom's name."
Oh, are they supposed to be brothers?
No, it's different people, but they literally didn't... Like, you're talking about screenwriting.
Yeah.
It's the most ridiculous thing I've ever watched.
This DC screenwriting is that bad.
The Fast and Furious screenwriting is better.
The Transformers screenwriting is better. The Transformers story plotline makes more sense than this.
Dang.
I'm not even wrong. You know what I found out crazy? I think this is just a random tangent. I was looking at the top 7 franchises that make the most money. So number 6 is Shrek. Shrek has made more money than the Fast and Furious franchise.
No,
I swear, look it up.
That's not true.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, we will look it up now.
Isn't that
this is what we're gonna end the show
or some of the
What,
list. Look up the
movie franchises. Okay, Marvel's number 1, right?
Yes, and then Marvel's like number 3 or 2 something too. Like Iron Man has its own.
Oh. Okay, biggest movie franchises. Here we go.
Hit this.
This one's CNBC.
Let me see if this is the same little chart that I read. No, this is not.
Different one. Pirates of the Caribbean's 13th according to this list.
Maybe it's Mental Floss.
Mental Floss?
I don't know. I definitely saw like a chart.
It was a chart. It wasn't like this.
Yeah, it wasn't like a scroll thing, but Harry Potter was definitely Lord of the Rings, X-Men, Fast and Furious.
Yeah, but there's no Shrek on here. You're lying.
Okay, see, this is what I'm talking about. Hold on.
You're lying.
Because I found it. I think I don't know if I screenshotted it, but I found it. You know what it was?
Huh?
Okay, it's this source.
Yeah, I'm on it on Wikipedia.
Okay, so look.
Shrek isn't 6.
Shrek is 17. Gosh darn it. But look at what Shrek makes more money.
It is above Star Trek and Twilight. It's above Toy Story. Wait, there's 5 Shrek movies?
Yeah, bro. See, I found this table insane.
Shrek is better than Superman.
Then gosh, and better than the Mission Impossible movies?
Indiana Jones? Incredibles, there's only 2 movies, though.
They have all 7 Superman movies in there. And they show you the highest grossing one. What was the highest? Shrek 2.
Shrek 2, $440 million at the box office.
Isn't that insane, though?
Yeah, it is.
That actually just blows my mind. But they do have, like, Spider-Man has his own thing.
It's 5th.
Avengers, and then the whole cinematic universe.
Batman outpacing the DCEU is kind of hilarious.
Right. But I think Shrek doing more than Lord of the Rings series.
The top 5 is the MCU, and then literally doubled the amount of Star Wars. And then Harry Potter, Avengers is its own thing in number 4. Then Spider-Man's number 5. Mm-hmm. Jesus. I think one big thing is to look at the movie count, too, though. Oh, yeah. Well, that's like James Bond's 9th, but with 25 movies.
25 James Bond movies?
Well, going back like all the way, like the highest grossing, like the first one's in 1962. James Bond's been around forever.
Oh man, what a wild chart. I don't know if we trust Wikipedia, but
I mean, I think Wikipedia gets checked all the time now. Like it used to be bad. Now it's pretty solid. I think in general.
I mean, I own a Shrek DVD, so I contributed.
You did contribute. So, are you hopeful for DC's movies in the future, or? I mean, I guess reflecting on this whole, it really was an experience. 4-hour movie, and now does it feel like DC can kind of just have a fresh reset going forward, or no? Because I feel like they could if they play their cards right.
They have to play these cards really right.
Yeah.
I think they messed it up pretty bad
multiple times.
So, but do we have hope that they're going to? Do we think they play their cards right? How many times have we told them, play your cards right, and maybe the fans will like it, and they have played their cards terribly wrong. They have done I think a really bad job with what they've had. So do we have hope for these 40 movies that they have projected?
Yeah.
I don't know.
I mean, at some point, the stories they have are fantastic, and I think it just takes the right person to be the CEO almost. The Kevin Feige of DC. They need it. They need it desperately.
We love you, Kevin. We love you.
I mean, he's the GOAT. He organizes it all.
Exactly.
So.
That DC right needs their person.
They just need someone like that, and I mean, I think we'll both put in our applications.
I mean, I'm there for it.
This is our application.
They didn't have... You know what they really needed? They needed somebody like Tom Holland to leak a little bit. That's what was missing from the DC universe as well. I think Tom Holland gets paid to leak some, build the hype.
Oh, 100%.
But,
Like how it's like a contract negotiation tactic for some people, for UFC fighters.
You need to go on
like
SNL and, leak a cast member or something. Because that gets me hyped when he leaks those stuff. Like, what?
Or a plot point, something like that.
Yeah, like I think there's a lot DC could do better.
100%.
And a lot of things they can't do much worse.
Yeah. So there's only room to go but up, DC.
Yep, exactly.
And the sad thing is, we talk about this, and this is going to be my ending point. We talked about, like, this is just despair and everything like that. I didn't even mind the Snyder Cut. I thought it was decent. But then it just reinforces the issues I have with Warner Brothers and DC at large.
Well, it was like Snyder Cut was really good. But then I want to watch another DC movie.
Yeah.
Which one am I going to go watch?
Yeah,
that's good.
You already watched Aquaman, then you were like, what else is good? And I was like, nothing.
Seen Joker 5 times.
Yeah, Joker.
Watched the Wonder Woman. Okay, so I have 4 movies that are good that I watched. Now,
Literally.
Marvel has what? What's the list say? 20?
They have 23 total, and I'd say probably 18 of those are good movies.
I have 18 different movies I can go choose from.
Easily.
And actually understand the storyline.
Easily.
I think they've got to do a whole lot right to get me to watch another movie and maybe eliminate Plastic Man.
Just take the Plastic Man movie out of development. Please take it out of development. Well, buddy, thank you for coming on.
Absolutely.
It was a ton of fun today. And yeah, hope you guys like this. If you have comments, if we're wrong about DC, write into theassistpod@yahoo.com, please. Thank you guys.
Yahoo? You have a Yahoo?
I do have a Yahoo email. I've had one for a while.
What's it called again?
Theassistpod@yahoo.com.
Oh, okay. So. The Assist
Pod
at Yahoo. Okay.
Just clarifying. There you go. So you said it 3 times for you people. And yeah, thank you all for listening.